What is up, everybody? We are back for another episode of Palm City Chucks. Finally, after a
Yes.
long layoff, because I decided to take a 2.5 week trip to Japan. We had every intention of trying to film while I was there. I even brought my entire setup, but the 14-hour time difference just proved to be too difficult, so we apologize for that, but we are more than thrilled to be back this week talking football again. I gotta tell you, I really missed it. I thought about it way too often while I was in Japan.
Yeah, it sucked missing it, but yeah, like you said, the time difference, me still getting settled into the new house, like it was just too many hurdles, but and we care what we're putting out, people. So we didn't want to rush or have one of us off no sleep filming these things. So hopefully it's worth the wait here.
Oh, we plan to give you something that was worth the wait, believe me. And with that, let's get into our regularly scheduled programming, talking about what happened in the NFL last week. We had Thanksgiving football. I mean, who doesn't love Thanksgiving football, right? Everybody shows up, eating food. All the ladies get a little bit upset because all the guys, all they want to do is watch football. I mean, it's a classic American home tale, and we had three games. Let's get started with the first one here. I'm not loving this. Packers Lions. Packers take this one 31-24 to sweep the Lions in the regular season this year. Really, really disappointing performance. But that is I'm going to expand a little bit since I haven't gotten to talk about the Lions here in a while on the
Yeah.
pod.
Oh,
And
very fair.
I mean, the Lions have been nothing but disappointing these past 3 weeks. The three games that happened while I was in Japan were disappointing to say the least. Let's track back to the first one, which was the Lions and the Eagles. You may have a different opinion on this, and that's fine, but I really think that game was there for the taking for the Lions, and this was one where Dan's aggressiveness just came to bite him and the Lions in the ass. Go 0 for 5 on
Yeah.
fourth down. 0 for 5. At what point do you learn? Kick the field goal. Punt it away. The,
Yeah.
the, the, the Eagles offense wasn't doing jack shit all game. You have Jack Fox, one of the best, if not the best punters in the game. Just pin them deep every time. I really didn't understand. Neither team played well, but I really thought this was one that the Lions could have won. And if you dig into the stats, they had the better offensive game. So that was just a really annoying loss for me, honestly. But it wouldn't have been a marquee win, in my opinion, because the Eagles, we'll get to this later, are struggling similarly as of late. But then you go into
Yeah.
the next week in what should be a clear bounce back game, taking on the lowly 2-win Giants. And we have to kick a 59-yard field goal in crazy conditions. Thank you, Jake Bates, to get to overtime. And then eventually we do get to overtime and win, which is great. We get the W in the win column. But oh my gosh, that was horrendous. And then you get to this game against the Packers. They beat up you terribly in week one because clearly you weren't ready. The team wasn't acclimated to the new coordinators, got absolutely smacked. And this should have been at home. You tie the series up 1-1 and it's fine. No, absolutely not what happened. Jordan Love throws four touchdowns. I mean, he only goes 18 of 30. It wasn't honestly an insane offensive performance from him or Jacobs or anybody else. It was, again, just the Lions beating themselves and being terrible. They need to first off, I'm not even gonna like jump to conclusions that they're gonna make the playoffs here. First thing they need to do is actually make the playoffs. That is genuinely in jeopardy at this point in time with how they're playing. They certainly could very well miss out, especially with the rise of the Bears and the Packers being 2-0 against them this year. There is every chance the Lions don't make the playoffs. But if they do, if they want to make any noise, they've really got to figure out this whole offensive play calling situation. Morton wasn't it, so Dan Campbell took the reins, and that looked better for one game. But since then, it's been much of the same that we saw with Morton, and things just are not working well. I mean, they miss Ben Johnson. There is no doubt about that. And you had to expect a little bit of a drop back here, but the plan that we had in place to replace him is not working out, and that needs to be addressed ASAP. Whether that's giving Morton another chance, Dan Campbell just truly switching things up, and you have basically the same offense minus an offensive line that is significantly worse than last year, to be fair. This offensive line is nowhere near as good. Which, side note, Ragnow looked like he was going to come back, and then, oh, he's got a grade 3 hamstring strain. Brother, don't tell me you didn't know that you had a fully torn hamstring, my guy, before you said you were going to come back. There's no way you didn't know that. I understand pain tolerance is insane in these NFL players, but you had to know. You had to
Yeah,
know. So that was a bit
at least an inkling.
disappointing and annoying. Um, because that would have been a big boost. Because, like I said, the offensive line has just been a problem this year. Honestly,
Oh
need
yeah.
to.
I was immediately terrified when I got that alert that he was coming back. I'm like, "Oh shit, the Lions are gonna like this is the spark they need." Like, "Oh boy, here we go." But yeah, the hidden hamstring.
Yeah, apparently, I mean, Decker has been good, Penny's been great, but then when you look at both guards in the center position, we are not getting what we need out of the interior line right now. They've really got to take another step, and especially at the center position, which is why Ragnow would have been just such a great boost. But then, but yeah, so this Packers Lions game to really, talk about it, just disappointing. And it really comes down to a problem that we've been talking about a little bit all year, and that's just the lack of the Lions' ability to get a pass rush as well. Jordan Love had all day in that backfield, which is why I say I don't think that he had a insane game. Regardless, he threw 4 touchdowns. Congratulations, but you went 18 for 30 in a game where you had like 7 seconds to pass the ball each
Yeah,
time. My guy, you got to be doing better than 18 for 30 there. Um, and the Packers were able to get to the quarterback. Micah Parsons, motherfucker, 2.5 sacks in that game. Really, game record. But we all knew that. We all knew that. And we're supposed to have one of
right.
our own,
You game
and Aiden
plan for that.
Hutchinson. Like supposed to have one of our own, and Aiden Hutchinson. And he simply has not been that this year. You asked me earlier in the year how did I feel about the contract, and I was unsure because who knows what player would fully show up, and wanted to give him some time. But so far, I'm extremely underwhelmed and not loving that contract at this point in time. He's really generated absolutely nothing. And before any Lions fans want to point to his game-winning sack against the Giants, let's be clear, that's the one good thing he did all game. And it took overtime on the last play of the game for him to get that. I mean, the Giants tackle came out and even said, it was like, yeah, that really pissed me off because I was on an island against him all day long, and he did absolutely nothing. And it was the one play he beat me, and yes, it ended the game, but he did nothing otherwise. And he is so right. He is so right. So Hutch really needs to find another gear here, especially with the injuries we're being faced with again. At this point, I think it's just got to be. I think it's something that the Lions need to look internally at through their drafting and the free agents they signed. Their injury-prone evaluation just has to be better. It's something I've been looking into a little bit more. Brad Holmes loved his first few drafts lately, not been as great. He's focusing on taking, longer term projects for guys that have injury problems because he thinks that their values at the position that he's getting them at, and it's coming back to bite us in the ass because they are hurt all the time.
Right.
I mean, Ennis Rakestraw Jr. still has yet to actually play for the Lions to this point. He was our second round draft pick last year, so that just can't happen. Laporta going out for the rest of the year, obviously that sucks. That was kind of a bit of a surprise. I didn't really see him get hurt, so I'm curious exactly how that happened. And because of that, we need the guys who we gave big money to step up, and they're simply not to this point. Hutch especially is really the guy that I'm looking at. He's like, dude, you simply need to be better if the Lions are going to do anything. That feeling I had when they played the Ravens and beat up on the Ravens really good earlier this year, it's like hanging on by a thread right now. It's like
Yeah, right.
practically gone. But I mean, there's still every opportunity for them to right the ship before we get to playoff time, assuming they actually do get in. But it's got to happen soon, like really soon.
Yeah. Yeah, I know the feeling all too well. I literally want to say the same exact thing, but about Philly. Like this, it's just ridiculous, man. The
Yeah,
juggernauts are
it is.
crumbling. And then, I
The-
mean, you look at the Chiefs, Ravens, like even the Colts early this year looking like a force. Now they look like very, very shaky. It's crazy. Like the NFL this year, it's getting unpredictable. But I feel the same way as you do with the Lions there for any of these teams. They're they still have all the pieces. If it just clicks at the right time, these teams can be what we thought they should be. But they certainly all don't look like what we were thinking.
yeah, and just to add one thing I totally forgot about is that Amon Ra's hurt now. He hasn't practiced
Yeah.
all
Yep.
this week, so he's probably not going to play this Thursday night game against the Cowboys. And wide receiver is like we've got good top end talent, but it's not exactly one of the Lions' deepest positions.
Oh,
So
yeah.
losing Amon Ra's not going to be great, but just to add, he also really hasn't been himself so far this year. He's still been excellent, don't get me wrong, but the
Yeah.
boy is dropping a lot more passes than he did in years past. Has not been quite as reliable as years past, which has been a little bit disappointing and obviously something that's been affecting the offense and especially really need him to be with Laporta out type of situation. So we'll
Yep.
see. Don't have the same balance between Gibbs and Montgomery, and Gibbs is, clear of Montgomery at this point. Don't let me confuse you when I say that, but, mixing Montgomery in worked pretty well for us the past 2 years, so I don't know that I love going full on to Gibbs right now. I'm not even talking like because I complained about the Bijan problem on the Falcons. So trust me, I'm not asking for a 50-50 here, but like, you know, 80-20 maybe, something like that, and not like Montgomery's gone down to like 5. I don't know. I don't know if we need that. And there's clear situations. This is part of the thing that pissed me off too. Like going back to the Eagles game, some of those fourth downs. It's like fourth and very short, less than a yard, and they run Gibbs up the middle. It's like, dude, that is what David
Yeah.
Montgomery is here for. That is what he is here for. So use him. If you're not going to use him any other time, use him there, please, please. But anyways, that's my soapbox on the Lions right now. It's been depressing. Still time to turn it around, and gotta start this week with the Cowboys, who are certainly not going to be an easy win. Um,
Yep.
but
Yeah, they're turning it on and I hate it.
let's talk about the Cowboys Thanksgiving game. Taking on
We
the
must.
Chiefs in AT&T Stadium, Jerry World. And
Ugh.
they beat the Chiefs. A game I did not see coming. I mean, no, let's be honest. Chris and I, we were still putting our picks in, by the way, while I was in Japan. And we got all three of these Thanksgiving games wrong. Both
Yes,
of
we
us.
did.
All three. Really great start to the week. Um, but yeah, Cowboys taking this one 31-28. I did not see this outcome coming along here because this puts the Chiefs in real jeopardy as well of missing the playoffs, like the
Yep.
Lions. You alluded to this earlier. So I thought this was a game that they knew they needed to win. We're going to clutch up and do so, and that is simply not what happened here. I mean, they're in trouble. They are in
They
real
are.
trouble.
And they're extremely fortunate that they're in the AFC. Because if they were in the NFC, they'd already be like, you got 2% chance kind of thing. Like here they still have a shot, but I mean we're approaching gotta win out zone here shortly. But yeah, I at this point, just bury him, NFL. Let's get a year off. But as for the Cowboys, it's like, my goodness, I'm sure you saw it. They were blasting this stat everywhere. But beating the Eagles and Chiefs in 5 days, both teams that were in the Super Bowl the year prior, pretty remarkable, even considering the Chiefs and Eagles state right now. Um, Game definitely sucked against the Eagles, but at least we won the other one. I figure a split every time in the NFC East, no matter the talent difference, all that shit. It's just the way these things shake out. But to then beat the Chiefs, like you said, a team that needed a win, it's pretty wild. And that Cowboys team is really cooking.
Yeah, no, they are, and man, if they beat the Lions this week, I mean, for one, that would really suck for me. But they could make a
Yeah,
push in
that's a
these last
crazy.
5 weeks.
They totally can, and that's a crazy streak. I mean, we just said it, Eagles Chiefs, and then you throw Lions on top of it. Like, if they pull that 3 win in a row, my goodness. I mean, what more do you have to like? Who else do you need to see them beat? Like, we're gonna have to accept their contenders, even like I said, given the state of these three teams that should be powerhouses that are all struggling. Um, but yeah, it's crazy. I mean, Dak has had a phenomenal year. Pickens phenomenal. CD's getting back a little more healthy. Still struggling with drops, but I mean, we know what he can do. And, Williams has been great at running back. This offense is just crazy stacked. If they had any defense at all, this would already kind of been the story all year, how good the Cowboys were. But
Well, I mean, to be fair, since acquiring Quinn Williams, their defensive numbers are
a lot better. A lot
like
better. Yeah.
much, much
And
better.
you can see
And
his
also,
impact in each game that he's played, which has only been 2 games. But yeah, he was big in the Eagles game and this Chiefs game. Definitely got a game record there. But was it worth losing Parsons? It's neither here nor there.
yeah, that relationship was coming to an end. But also to your point about CD coming back healthy, it don't matter. Pickens is wide receiver one in Dallas, bro. That's all I'm gonna say.
All
That's all I'm gonna
right,
say.
cool.
I
I'm
mean,
fine with that. Fuck
hey,
them both, but I'm cool with that.
hey, he's been the better receiver this year, in my
He
opinion.
has. He has. And he plays receiver the way I like most. And I don't want to gas up a cowboy all night on this pod, but I mean, because AJ Brown does it too. But I love that style of receiver. The contested catch, just ridiculous strong hands, like catch it out here and keep it away from the defender, kind of stuff. Like I just love that, and Pickens does that. And yeah, it's, dare I say, been somewhat fun to watch. Just kidding. I couldn't even. I just felt something shoot down my spine as I said that. Yeah, it was a joke. Oh, goodness.
That's a tough
Ooh,
one. That's a tough one. But yeah, Cowboys
yeah,
take this one, and they've got a chance here if they keep winning games. I think if they win probably 4 of their last 5, they've got a real shot at getting in with a 10-6-1 record. I think that would
yeah.
have them finishing at. So
Well, yeah. And with the Eagles and how they've played, they have a shot at the division here. I mean, Eagles, as
yeah,
annoying as they've been and just absolutely brutal, they're still 8-4. I mean, they're winning 2 games for every one they lose. That's pretty damn good. So as bad as it's been, they still find a way to win. I just hope they can still do that, even though I'm sure they'll be miserable to watch because that's just the way they've been.
yep. I don't disagree. But let's move on to our last Thursday night Thanksgiving game here. And that was the Bengals taking on the Ravens in Baltimore and Joe Burrow's return game.
Can I start
And
sipping?
boy, can you start sipping? I mean, honestly, there's time. I mean, they're not totally toast yet, especially in that AFC North specifically.
Yeah,
Maybe not talking wild card here, but that AFC North is just problematic as a whole right now. The Steelers suck. Lamar has been horrendous these past couple weeks. I mean, they had 5 turnovers, the Ravens did, against the Bengals in this game.
yeah.
5. That is, you cannot win football games like that. You cannot
No.
win football games like that. And that's just been a common theme for Lamar these past 3 weeks. Believe me, he's on my fantasy team. He's let me down. Yeah, he's just been horrendous. He's got to figure it out if the Ravens want to do anything. I'd say right now it's looking likely that they'll probably win the AFC North anyways, just based on the defense is starting to really click now. They've got everybody back healthy, been playing together for a little bit. So I've still got my money on the Ravens for that division, to be honest with you. But like the Lions, like the Eagles, they're a struggling powerhouse team right now, and they've got to figure it out again soon. They really do.
Really weird. Especially a team like the Ravens. Like, they're nothing but consistent, like, my whole life. They've just been what they are, and that's good, and that's what they are. And this year, it's like they can look like real shit, some of these games. Just terrible. They've had numerous games where they can't get Henry going. As you said, Lamar's had some real sloppy games. And yeah, I mean, there's games where Zay is uninvolved in the offense too. It's super weird this year, but I do agree. I think all said and done, they are going to win the North at this point.
Yeah, big game coming up this week that we'll talk about later. That'll have a lot of implications in this AFC North here. Um, but yeah, so let's go to the Friday game, fun little Black Friday game.
Oh,
Bears taking on the Eagles in Philadelphia, and the Bears win 24-15. I'll let you start.
yeah, it was not fun. Not fun at all. The only good thing was I got out work a little early because of this bad boy. They know how much the birds mean to me. They cut me loose. But yeah, it was a terrible game, dude. It's just we can't get anything going. And the one thing we've had is the defense. And the defense won us numerous games. As you mentioned, the Lions game going 0 for 5 on fourth down. Like, yeah, that's really weird and questionable decision making by the Lions, but credit due to the defense there to actually stop them 5 out of 5 times is pretty remarkable. But that's
Sure,
kind
we
of the
did have
thing.
some drop passes, and like I
Yeah,
said,
that's
running Gibbs instead of Montgomery, but your defense
right.
did stop them. Don't get me
Yeah,
wrong, but
but
yeah,
that's kind of what we've seen. Like the Eagles' offense, no secret, has not been good this year. The defense has bailed us out time and time again. And in this game, they didn't. We got ran over. I mean, Mungai and Swift both over 100 with like crazy yards per carries. It was disgusting. They both looked phenomenal. Caleb Williams looked phenomenal. I thought for sure we would be able to frazzle him. I mean, he's still a young QB. He has looked a lot better, especially in recent weeks, than what we were seeing last year. But I thought Vic, just old savvy D coordinator, would have a way to rattle him, and we absolutely did not. He looked fine, and they could just do whatever they wanted with the ball. Which I give a lot of credit to Ben Johnson too, just what he's done with this Bears team. And it's just kind of like bullshit excuse here, but it's like it's a rough time to be playing the Bears. They're on the upswing. They're gaining momentum each and every week, and they have all the confidence in the world. And I think confidence is a huge thing because even the contenders we talked about that aren't playing like contenders, like I think confidence is a factor there. Like especially with the Eagles, they get a lot of publicity in the locker room and AJ Brown and what's going on and all that, and it's just like there's no confidence. Like every week, we're not going in there like we're the freaking defending world champs. We're going to win this game. We're gonna force the ball down their throat via Barkley and then go up top to AJ. Like there's no confidence, swagger, any of that with this Eagles squad right now, and they're like desperate for a spark. I honestly was hoping we bring Slay back. Slay got cut by the Steelers, and word on the street is he's going to the Bills. I'm not sure how official any of it is, but yeah, it's the Eagles need a spark. I don't know how it's going to happen. I mean, they're badgering Sirianni week after week to fire Petula, and it's just not happening. He's not changing play callers. And I kind of respect that because to implement a whole new game plan right now is just digging a grave. That's not how the NFL works. You can't. It's not like everyone just takes a freaking SD card to the forehead and just know everything and can do it flying full speed. Like you kind of have to stick with what we know. My problem is how do we not know it? We did it so well last year, and honestly, similar systems, regardless of coordinators, for a lot of this, which I think is why you see Hurts' winning percentage so high, even given all his turnover as far as OCs go. But yeah, it's just perplexing, and you kind of mentioned it with the Lions too, losing Ben Johnson. It's one thing for these coaches to be behind these offensive coordinators and learn the tools and learn what works. It's another thing to use the said tools at the right time, and I think that's what we're seeing. These guys know what should work for these teams, but it's the timing of it that they're just completely lost. So it is something I hope we address, but I do understand just kind of rolling with what we have at this point in the season. Like it's too late for any kind of major change. And honestly, I wish more Eagles fans would realize that rather than egging the dude's house where his family lives and just acting
That's why
crazy.
everybody loves Philly, right?
Yeah, yeah. I do love Philly, but that shit's crazy. That's way too far. But yeah, I just wish they would all keep it a buck like me.
Yeah, I mean, I gotta say at this point, you mentioned AJ Brown there. You definitely have an AJ Brown problem, like big time.
Yeah.
One, clearly not happy. Then you get him more involved in the offense, and the times that he has big games, you lose every single time. Every single time he has a good game, it's an L for the Eagles, which I think is a shortfalling of the coaches, to be honest, because him having a good game should mean that the other things that you were doing to win games should still be able to happen. Because it's not like
Hmm.
you're forcing him the ball and it's not working out. So that's interesting. So I mean,
Yeah,
AJ
I almost
Brown.
think it's a coincidence.
I definitely agree, but I mean, good news for you, it probably makes him a little bit happier. But honestly, I think you have to move on after this season. I really do. I think that's something that has to happen.
Yeah. I mean,
Um,
I think it very well might. The culture the Eagles have created, like, we are a freaking winning team. We should be in contention each and every year with the roster we have right now anyway. Like, we can't dick around with this drama shit. Like, you just can't. I love AJ Brown. I still think he is a top 5 receiver in the NFL. Like, he's amazing, but I don't know that he's worth all this when you have all these pieces. My only issue is, are you going to get what he's worth? And as we know,
no,
Howie only bends people
absolutely
over
not.
in trades. He's not going to get bent over in a trade unless he really, really thinks AJ is unfixable, which I don't think they're gonna deem him unfixable to get bent over in a trade. So I think he will be sticking around personally, but yeah,
We'll
it
see.
they
I
got to
mean,
right
we'll
this
we'll
shit.
see. I hate it for AJ Brown because I agree. I think he's one of the top 5 receivers in the league, and I don't think that he's being used anywhere close to correctly. In
No,
like
he's
10
not.
of the 12 games so far this year, and it's really sad to see. So I totally understand his frustration because it's malpractice in my opinion.
It
Um,
it is, and that's a good way to put it. It's the only thing I will say is something I don't like about AJ Brown is it gets to him and it affects his play because we've seen lack of effort plays by him, which just destroys me when I see that from any NFL player. It is the worst thing in the world to see. These guys are paid more than enough money to bust their ass and play the game that they love. To see lack of effort, just nothing freaking pisses me off like that. And there are a handful of plays like that. And then there's like Barkley finally had a good run. It was a few weeks ago now. But on that play, like AJ's blocking downfield and like sprung him for the extra 10 yards on top of the 15 he already had or whatever. And like that is what I want to see. You're not getting the ball, boo hoo. You're still a freaking bazillionaire. Make plays and bust your ass.
hey, these guys care about their legacy, man. I
They
think
do. And I get that, but
so.
don't mope like
Yeah.
a child. Understand the situation and work your way out of it. Teams do that all teams will literally trade you to a desired location of yours. Like that isn't unheard of. And Eagles in particular are kind of known for taking care of their players. Like if he wants a certain destination and all you've done is bust your ass for us, we will probably try and make that happen for you. But to respond like a freaking child is absurd to me. And like I said, I don't think Howie's willing to get bent over on a trade. So I think he's ours. Like he is our problem. We need to fix him. I don't know how we do this with a Jalen Hurts type quarterback and a run heavy offense, but we got to figure it out.
God, I just got like warm and fuzzy inside when you said a
You
Jalen
make me
Hurts type
sick.
quarterback. Yeah. But I will say I just two things. One is yeah, it's just kind of ironic and just feeding into my thoughts about Jalen Hurts right now. A lot of memes flying around with the Eagles' struggles this year, but like Jalen Hurts and the McDonald's worker outfit when he's not running tush pushes from the 1 yard line, and that just
That's just absurd. That's just
cracks me up.
uneducated. It's
It's too far.
uneducated.
That's too far. Don't get me wrong, it's too far. But
his two Super Bowl performances are some of the best performances I've ever seen in my life from anyone, and it's on the biggest stage possible. Like the
Yeah,
dude's not going to be working at a freaking fast food restaurant. And I know they
I
don't believe that
know.
either. It's just to piss people
Yeah,
off, and it's working right
yeah,
now because I'm
exactly.
hot. I'm starting to
I
match
know,
this
because
shirt, man. My
I
face is
know, because I sent it to
oh.
you.
I don't even think I
uh,
saw it, but fuck you.
well, that'll be a good reminder later when you
Yeah,
take a peek.
great. Now
Think
I
of
know what to
me.
look forward to.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, and then the other thing I want to say, because you just brought up the Lions Eagles game again, it reminded me the one thing I didn't include in my rant when I was talking about it was fuck that pass interference that ended the game. That was horrendous, absolutely horrendous. There's nothing to believe that the Lions would have drove down and scored, but I'll be damned they deserved that goddamn chance. That was ridiculous.
Yeah, agreed.
Ridiculous. That one
It
of the
was.
worst I have seen in the NFL this
It
year.
was.
That
And
was
just the
horrible.
officiating as a whole this year has just been terrible. And I mean, nobody's zoning into more games with a certain team than I am with the Birds, but specifically the Bird games, I feel like have just been terrible. Both sides, not always favoriting the Birds, but there's certainly been a lot of it, and it's just terrible. Like, let them play. It scares me. Like, God forbid the NFL becomes the NBA. Like, I'm gonna watch soccer then because screw that.
Hey, we're heading that direction, man. But one thing I do like, which I'll talk about later when I talk about the Giants Patriots games, but the refs are letting the quarterbacks get hit if they're not running out of bounds. They're not throwing the flag. I
Yeah,
appreciate that because that's how it should be. Get out of bounds, you
should.
don't want to get hit. Um,
Yeah.
but anyways, yeah. So that's another nice rant over. Bears are sitting very pretty at 9-3 coming into
Top of
Week
the
14 here
NFC.
now.
What the hell?
Yeah, I did not see that
But
coming.
side note,
Um,
my bet with my coworkers is starting to look real nice.
is it? It's got to be like almost a lock at this point. I think the
Yeah, it
Bears need
was,
to
and
win one
just a
more
reminder
game.
for everyone, it was just that the Bears won't finish last in the NFC North.
It's true.
And
What
yeah,
was the bet? The
it's looking
Bears have
good.
to finish above the
Yeah,
Vikings.
just
That's it.
not last. Just not the
Hmm.
Bears can't be last in the North was the bet. But
Well,
yeah,
I feel like the Vikings have what, 4 wins,
yeah,
maybe
4.
5. It's 4. Yeah. So yeah, I mean, one more win and it's literally impossible for that to happen. So or lost by the Vikings. The Vikings have to win out, and the Bears have
Yeah,
to lose out. I
I
don't
don't
think
think
I see
that's
that
happening.
happen,
Holy
especially with
crap.
J.J.
I can't wait till
McCarthy
we
at
can yeah.
quarterback.
Let's save it.
Yeah,
Save it.
yeah,
I'm excited too. We gotta save
yeah.
it.
Restraint. Gotta show restraint. He didn't even play this last week, though. I'll be damned.
I
But
don't care. It's
anyways,
happening in that
yeah,
game.
I know.
We're
That's
going to
fair.
talk about it.
But yeah, so let's move on to another game here. Now that we've ranted about our two teams for 30
Yeah, now we
minutes.
can get cooking.
Yeah.
Now the podcast
49ers
starts.
Browns. Um, wow, everybody was glazing Shadur after his one touchdown pass last week that went for like 40 yards.
Yeah.
Woo!
Yeah.
What
Which
did he
was a
go and
dump
do
off to a
against
running
this
back.
49ers? Yeah, I know, ridiculous. What did he go and do against this 49ers team? Sucked. Absolutely sucked yet again. I I really don't think I hope that the Browns are realizing that their quarterback solution is not on their roster. It's not Gabriel. It's not Shadur. You need to go fishing again. I'm sorry.
I'm tired of fishing, Grandpa.
You gotta be quicker than that.
Yeah.
I mean,
Just
earlier draft
merging
pick.
fucking memes. Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, the Browns, I mean, we talked about this weeks ago that this was going to happen. Shador was eventually going to get the start. They were going to see if their, future is actually on the team. And yeah, I agree. So far, it's looking like it's not. And God, we just missed so much time. There's so much to talk about. But yeah, the Shador confidence after his first win is ridiculous. It's like
It's
see
like,
what
dude, you
happens
beat
if
the
I
Raiders.
actually get an off season and like if I actually get reps. Like this is just the start. Like just crazy arrogance for beating the Raiders, as you said. But yeah, I Think he came back down to earth a little bit, maybe, but probably not. I
And I
think
mean,
his
I
ego
haven't
is
seen him on
bulletproof.
I haven't seen him on the socials since
Yeah.
that loss, which that was the note. Like media just wants. I mean, other man, I can't complain about somebody like wanting somebody to succeed. That's great and all,
Mhm.
but like, why are we doing this for Shadur? Like, honestly, seriously, like, clearly the eval wasn't there for him going in the fifth round. It's because he's Dion's kid. Dion likes to make a freaking ruckus. But like we're posting videos from Shadur's Thanksgiving where his
Yeah.
brother's like, "Oh, please let Shadur do well so he can get me a contract," and goes crazy on Thanksgiving week game. Shut up. Why? Why? Yeah, I haven't heard a peep this week after returning to the L column. So a
Yeah.
little funny.
Yeah. It's very true.
But yeah, 49ers looked good. Not too much to say there. Kittle's really getting back into the swing of things now since he's returned from injury. He's looking really good. Jawan Jennings is honestly that's who I expected to be their wide receiver one. He's healthy now and he's looking pretty good as well. McCaffrey is McCaffrey. There's really
Yeah.
not much that
My
needs
gosh.
to be said there.
This guy is
But
just a
Brock
sword.
Purdy's honestly, if I'm the Niners,
Mac
man, Mac
Jones.
Jones got to be in consideration. Exactly. He's got to be in
Who been
consideration.
saying this before the very first Mac Jones 49ers start?
That
Just
there's not
saying.
a lot separating them. That's all I'm saying. There's not a lot separating them. And I think it's been clear Mac Jones has been better so far this year, in my opinion. Just saying. Yeah, 49ers
Well,
win this one.
opinions aside, just look at the stats. It's fact.
That's a fair point. Fair point. Yeah, so let's move on to let's talk about another rookie quarterback here. We have the Jags taking on the Titans, and Cam Ward continues to struggle in his inaugural season with the Titans here. They put up 3 points against the Jaguars at home. Jaguars 25-3 victory.
Yeah, it's I mean, the Jags have looked pretty good all year. Their defense impresses me. Like, this is against a Titans team. I mean, the bar's so low. They've looked so bad in almost every single game, especially their offense. They just can't get anything going. Honestly, we ought to pull up freaking Cam Ward's stats this year. Like, does the man even have 10 touchdowns? Like, he probably does not. But regardless, the Jags are a
7.
decent squad. Yeah, he's got 7. There you go. But it's rough. But yeah, the Jags, they have something here, and with the Colts' recent struggles I alluded to earlier, they could make a push for this division as well as the Texans. So I think the South is going to get really fun here to wrap up the season the rest of the way.
Yeah, no, I agree. The South is going to be crazy. Jags, Colts, and Texans all have a genuine shot at taking it. Yeah, because Texans are looking a lot better recently, which is a good segue into the next game here, the Texans and the Colts. And oh, by the way, this we had two differences last week. I got both of them correct. Rare week. This Texans Colts game is one of them, but flashback to that Bears Eagles games.
Ah,
Not Bears, but went Eagles.
Dick.
Just had to bring it up again. Got that right too. But yeah, this Texans team is looking really good as of late. Their defense is, in my opinion, far and above the best defense in the NFL. Honestly, you could probably give a shout to the Cleveland Browns, but it just doesn't matter because their offense is so bad. The
Yeah.
stats just don't reflect that, to be honest. Um, but yeah, this Texans defense is amazing. CJ Stroud's looked a little better in these past few games since coming back from his concussion break, so that's a positive for them. Then on the Colts side, I'm worried if I'm the Colts. Because you mentioned they look like a juggernaut. They certainly do not look like a juggernaut anymore. Rumors going around that Daniel Indiana Jones also has a broken crack in his fibula that he's playing
Yeah.
through.
Yep.
Obviously, that is not ideal for your franchise quarterback, at least for this year. So, interesting. But Texans take this one and make the AFC South just that much more interesting.
Yeah. Yeah, it's fun. The Texans, I mean, I've been saying it, but like back to Stroud's rookie season, like everything was looking so good. Future was so bright. Last year was like, what the hell? And this year was starting to look that same way, but they're starting to figure it out here. And like I said, I truly think the South is going to wrap up in a fun way because I take your pick out of any of those three teams. I have no clue who's going to do it. Um, which honestly we should pick because we picked for the North. We both went Ravens. I don't think it's the Colts. I'm gonna rule them out because I think they're sputtering and declining at the wrong time. Texans are going up. Jags are about what they've been all year, which is just a good team. Um, I think give me Texans, best defense in the league and on the upswing. I like it.
I'd go Jags personally, most consistent out of the
Very, yeah,
three.
definitely the most consistent.
But
I
yeah,
like
there's a lot that can be learned there for sure. But let's move on to a less exciting game. At least teams of the term, in terms of the teams that are playing, we have the Saints taking on the Dolphins in Miami. Dolphins pulled this one out 21-17. A closey. The Saints almost got another one. They were
yeah.
close, but not quite. Um, is this? I don't even know if I really want to talk too much about this game. There wasn't a lot exciting here, but are we learning two things I want to ask you? Are we learning for sure that Tyler Shuck is not the guy in New Orleans? And two, is this definitely Mike McDaniel's last year in Miami?
Yeah, I definitely think it's McDaniel's last year. Yeah, without a doubt. I think they need like a full flush. Like even before the deadline, there were some offers coming in for Waddle, and I don't know why they weren't accepting them. Because I really think they need to just clean out and rebuild. I mean, and they'll probably still, beat the Jets to the rebuild zone. So at least they have that going for them. But yeah, I don't think it's great, but yeah, as for the Saints, I do think they still need their future QB. I haven't been watching them too closely, but it's just, the stats haven't been remarkable. I have noticed Olave's uptick in usage lately, which I think that is promising. He needed to get involved. I mean, the way this year started, it was like really sputtering. Last year missed all that time with the concussions. They needed to get him going, and it looks like they're doing that. So that's a plus. I mean, we've seen Kamara; he's pretty much toast at this point. Um, yeah, and that's an aging defense too. Like that defense is old. That's another team in a rough spot. Um, but yeah, as far as the quarterback goes, I do think it needs to be addressed. But I don't. I'm curious at what you think about this too, which it's kind of something we don't need to discuss in the Week 13 recap. But like, do you think there's quarterbacks in this draft class that are worth investing in if you're the Browns, Saints, like one of those teams we're talking about that needs a QB still?
I don't love him.
Yeah, that's kind
I'm
of where
not a
I'm
huge
at.
fan.
Like,
Yeah.
I'm certainly not trading like capital to move up to get anyone, but even at the pick that these teams are going to fall, like, I don't know that I invest there, especially considering these teams have so many other needs.
Yeah, I mean, you look at we'll just talk about I'll say likely Heisman at this point, Fernando Mendoza out of Indiana. And it's like, the moment you get some pressure on that guy, he's not the same.
Yep.
He's not the same. So like, I don't know. I don't really love any of the quarterbacks in this class. I'm sure one, maybe two, will have some success. That's just typically how it
Yeah,
works
it's just the
out.
way it goes. Yeah.
Um, but I don't really love the class as a whole. And I was kind of asking the McDaniel's question selfishly because don't love him as a head coach, but I wouldn't mind him as the Lions' new offensive coordinator.
Ah,
So just saying to
okay.
throw that out there.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, we know this. Some guys aren't cut out for the head coaching gig, and they gotta switch to coordinator. There's nothing wrong with that.
It's a very true statement. Looks like you're having a really fun time with the hair over there, sir.
Yeah, it sucks. It sucks.
That's why I just got the hat on, call it a day. But yeah, let's move on to the Falcons taking on the Jets in New Jersey. And Falcons drop this one, 24-27. The Jets get another win. Good for you, Aaron Glenn. I feel bad for Kirko, though. I gotta say, I really feel bad for Kirko.
Yeah. Yeah, it's time to hang him up, methinks.
Yeah, he's just not the same that Achilles did him in, for
Yeah,
real. Which
he was
which is
already
really
not mobile,
interesting.
and now he just really isn't mobile. And yeah, his body's starting to fail him. And I mean, it's natural. This is what happens when you play football for 20 years of your life or whatever.
That's true. I guess he's a guy who I would have expected the Achilles maybe not to affect as much because
Yeah, because he
being
didn't
mobile
depend on
isn't
his legs.
something that he ever
Right.
was or tried to do. So I'm really surprised that it's had this big of an effect, but I mean it's certainly what you have to point to. It's very clear he had that injury, came back, and has not been the same since at all.
The Falcons just do some questionable shit. Like they're in a dangerous place. I just feel like their GM, and I don't know his name, he's making terrible decisions as of late. I mean, even this past draft, like they got two edge rushers in the first round, which are good, and they are going to help the defense out in a position of need. Their edge rush defense has been absolutely atrocious for years, so it's good that they're addressing it. But then you sell your future first, which is now looking like a phenomenal pick, and it's going to the Rams, a team that's young minus Stafford and really good. Like it's very questionable, and then you draft Penix after signing Cousins to this mega deal, and they're like very different styles of play. And I think that's kind of what we're seeing too. Like when either one of these quarterbacks is in, it's like the offense doesn't know what to do because they're doing something completely different when the other one is in. Which now we know Penix is out the rest of the season. Like you get a few Cousins weeks in a row. I'm wondering if it's going to help them at all. But all that being said, the priority is Bijan. We've been saying this forever. Get the man the ball. They have also been without London too, which he could be back this upcoming week, which that'll help a lot too. He's had a really good year.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. But they're, as you said, they're in a very interesting situation. I don't hate like the James Pierce and Jalen Walker picks. That was like something that they needed, but they've got to figure out an offensive direction for the future here very soon. Because that defense, it's not terrible, but their offense just continuously puts them in really, really tough spots. Because
Yeah,
I'll be the first to say I don't love Penix either.
no,
So I certainly don't think he's a guy that can win you a chip. And
no,
to me, as an NFL GM, knowing that quarterback is the most important position on the field, if I don't believe a guy can win me a chip, I am taking my chances on making a change. It's just that simple. He can be good, but if you don't think it's good enough to win you a chip, you have to try to make a change some
yeah.
way somehow.
Well, you're
So
right. You're so right, and it's dangerous if you don't treat it that way. Which gives me a chance to talk shit on the Cowboys. But that's what we're seeing with Dak. Like Dak is not a guy that I believe at least can get it done in the postseason. We've seen the crumbles every time they do manage to make it, and yet they pay him time and time again and make him highest paid and all kinds of crazy shit just for mediocrity. And I know it's kind of contradictory because I was just gassing him up earlier, and he is having a phenomenal season, and he has had an All-Pro season before too. But yeah, it's what you just said. If they can't get it done in the Super Bowl, what are you doing with them? Why are you extending them? Like, and with the Falcons here, obviously Penix, you drafted him, you let him play out his rookie deal, fine, but you're not extending a guy that is a top 20 guy in the league. Like, if he's not freaking 10 up, you got to be thinking about getting out of it. Or you need the best freaking defense in the league and best O line and best weapons.
it's true. It's true. I mean, the Eagles won with a mid quarterback, so there's that.
I can't take anymore. Do you want me to stroke out?
He's solidly 10 to 15. That's all I'm gonna say. That's where I've got him in the NFL
Agree,
quarterback rankings.
agree to disagree, but I have heard worse, so I will take that coming from you.
Yeah, 10 to 15 I think is extremely reasonable. I cannot name I mean, sorry, there is at least 10 quarterbacks I could name that I would absolutely take before Jalen Hurts. But that's a story for a different day. We cannot get stuck on that topic, or we will be here forever. But anyways, so let's move on to the Rams taking on the Panthers. And my goodness, this Panthers team has taken not steps this year, leaps and bounds. They
Mm-hmm.
have jumped across canyons
Yeah.
compared to last year. It has been honestly amazing to watch. I think they might be my most favorite story of the year.
Yeah.
Honestly, maybe I said the Colts, if they continued their dominance, that was really cool seeing Indiana Jones give it a good fuck you
Yeah.
to the Giants. But like this Panthers team is awesome. I mean, their defense is amazing. Bryce Young has been much better, and don't get me wrong, he still has some absolute stinker games in him. We have seen it, but he has been much better overall. They have a genuine running back problem. I mean, it was Chuba's job, and then it was Rico's job because he was going crazy. And then this was interesting this past week. I don't know if you noticed this as well, but it was Chuba's job again.
Yeah, it was. It was.
And Rico didn't really do anything wrong, in my opinion, in the last couple games. So I think Chuba just must have been showing out at practice or something
Yeah.
because it was absolutely Chuba's job again,
Yeah.
which I thought was really interesting.
Yeah, it is. And it was weird. Like you said, it's not like Rico did anything wrong per se. I mean, he's had some monster games this year and kind of forced their hand, forced them to give him the job. And then, yeah, now just a few weeks later, it's looking like Chuba. But I think we're going to work our way into like a time split here. And then you kind of play it game by game who's popping off today and whose legs are feeling good today, kind of thing. But yeah, the Panthers have been really fun. The defense has been really fun and just very good. And I don't think the score really reflects how good they were in this game. I mean, Stafford, a guy coming in 20 plus touchdowns, no interceptions over X amount of games. I think it was 5 or 6 or something. They forced him to turn it over, I think 4 times, might have been 3. But regardless, a sloppy game from a guy who did not turn it over for weeks on end had this Rams team looking like the best team in the whole NFL. And I certainly didn't see this one coming. And maybe we should have because the Panthers kind of do this. They play really well against
At
a
home,
good opponent.
especially.
Yeah, and at
Yeah.
home they have been a problem. You're right. But yeah, it is a lot of fun and it is a great story. It very well could be the best story this year. Just how far of a leap this team took. And yeah, that it's fun. I like it. It keeps things interesting. It got my Bears the number 1 seed in the NFC, which is cool, but I sure won't last. Um, but yeah, the Panthers are fun. I hope they can manage to squeak in somehow. The NFC's so crazy, like it's probably not going to happen. But this team's close. Like if it doesn't happen this year, good chance next year it does.
I mean, they could win the NFC South, like for
They could,
sure.
because even to your point there, the Bucks haven't really looked great. We'll talk about them literally right now if you want. They're next up.
Yeah. Only
But
other
yeah,
thing I want to say quick is like this. I only wanted the Rams to win this game because Matty Stafford was like MVP favorite in my opinion, and I would just love to see my guy win an MVP. Are you freaking kidding
yeah,
me?
and his
Give me
Twilight
that Matt
years too.
Stafford MVP juice. Mmm.
Not
Mmm.
the most valuable player, Juice. Oh no.
Exactly. I wish I could have seen Matthew Stafford have this much success on the Lions. That's all I'm gonna say.
Yeah.
But
I mean, he
wasn't
kind of
meant to
did.
be.
It's just nobody else was
Yeah.
doing anything.
I guess what I mean is, the wins and the accolades
Yeah.
because he's winning, where instead of just being like, oh, he's actually not that great because his team's losing 14 games a year, even though it wasn't his fault. Besides the point, though, love to see Matty Stafford doing well. Keep it up, brother. Let's keep it up. But yeah, let's move on to talk about those Bucks here squeaking out a win against the Cardinals, 20-17. Um, Wide receiver room all banged up. Getting Godwin back though, so that's a positive. Baker
Yeah, he's
Mayfield,
dropping touchdowns.
yeah, that's true. Baker Mayfield's hurt now, as well. Probably going to play through it with the shoulder strain and all that good
Yeah,
stuff.
it's Baker.
But
We know he's going to play through it. The
that's
ultimate
a
football
very
player. Yeah, they
Very
barely
true
survive here
statement.
against the Cardinals. It's like, what the hell? I mean, the Cardinals are looking a lot better removed from Murray. Brissett's definitely has them playing a little better. Harrison Jr., decent game again. What McBride's been doing this year has been excellent. Probably best tight end in the league so far. Um, but yeah, it was still surprising to see this game so close. Because we just know how the Bucks do. Like they just handle teams, and they play really good ones really tough too. Like they seem to be consistent to me, and have been for
Yeah,
years. And this really wasn't consistent because they're better than 3 points better than the Cardinals. But shout out Josh Sweat, career high in sacks this year.
yeah.
Couldn't do it with us, but that's all right. You were a wonderful Eagle, and I miss you right now.
That's fair. That's fair. Yeah, I'm very curious to see what this Bucks team does here coming down the line. Very, very curious. I gotta say,
Oh
because
yeah,
they're
there's
make or
just
break
so
territory.
yeah, and there's fucking 10 teams in that boat. Like, what are you?
Yeah,
But
the
I can't
NFC,
wait to
as you said,
find
is
out.
tight. Like
Yeah.
the Lions and the Panthers are both currently sitting outside the playoff picture with over 500 records and 7
Yeah,
wins at this
it's
point.
crazy.
So nuts. Very nuts. But yeah, let's move on to a game we're excited to talk about. Not even because of somebody who played in the game, but Vikings taking on the Seahawks in Seattle, dropping it 26-0. The Seahawks team continues to play super, super, super well. Jackson Smith, Nick Jigba is popping off. My only ask of him and the Seahawks is that he does not surpass Calvin Johnson's receiving yard record. And I want it to be known to the world, if he doesn't pass it in 16 games,
Yeah,
I don't
right.
fucking count it. I
Yeah,
don't count it,
fair.
respectfully. Uh, um, so that's
That's
that's just
fair.
my take there. But they're playing really well, and this Vikings team sucks. They absolutely suck. They had undrafted rookie Max Brosmer. I think undrafted, anyways. Might have been late round, but I think undrafted. Max Brosmer starting this game, and he was horrendous. He, like J.J. McCarthy last week, both of these guys, their quarterback performances the last 2 weeks would have had a better QBR if they spiked the ball every play. Both of them in these past 2 games. That is a horrendous streak of quarterback performances.
That's tough. And I just wonder how long Jay Jettas can, handle this. He seems very professional in this way because this isn't his first rodeo with quarterback struggle. But I mean, that's pitiful. That's terrible. I like to think I could play quarterback and do better than that, but now I'm reconsidering things. We've had two different guys do it, and yeah, I don't think I have what it takes, but I know these guys don't either. So that's shout out us all over that McCarthy shit from the start. And if
Yeah,
you want
I
to sway it
had,
into a Penn State thing, I'm not a Penn State fan, so
yeah,
not you, just
exactly.
our
It's the
guest. But
LSU
yeah,
guy.
it's just
I
yeah,
know.
he's just dog
All I'm
shit.
saying is I had a lot of people because I live in the Midwest now, so there's more Michigan people out here, and they're like, "Oh, JJ McCarthy is the truth. He's gonna be so good." I don't know what you mean when you say that he didn't really do anything in college. Have you watched the
Stats.
NFL this year? Yeah, the stats don't lie, the numbers don't lie. He's horrendous. He's horrendous. The problem is the Vikings probably don't have a choice but to play him for the rest of this year. Like they have to, in hopes that he figures something out. I don't see it happening, but
I just
I
think
guess it's
it's so funny that the off season's gonna come and they're gonna be calling frickin' Mr. Indiana. Can you come back, please?
I know
And
that is
he's probably
actually
gonna stay with the Colts, but it's just so funny that that call is going to happen when they had every opportunity to bring him in. It made sense to do it. I mean, he was already there, kind of got some of the system known by the end of last year. And yeah, they let him go for crumbs and put all their freaking pennies into this basket or all their eggs. Pennies in a basket isn't a thing.
that's
uh,
all JJ McCarthy's next contract's gonna be, so I get it.
Here we go. That's what I was going for. But yeah, now there's a guy who could be working at McDonald's. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, but no, it is hilarious looking at this Vikings team because they have every opportunity to be competing for one of these playoff spots. And honestly, this NFC North division, if they had a competent quarterback, their defense is
Yeah,
really solid,
it's
and they had the
excellent.
chance to keep Darnold or Daniel Jones. But nope, they were like, "Oh, we drafted JJ 15th overall in the first round. We've got to give him some run. It just has to happen." No, the hell it does not. And well, honestly, maybe it does, but your mistake was drafting him when you did. Like everybody who is not a Michigan fan saw that shit.
Yeah,
Seriously.
yeah, they
He
were
did not have
blinded
to
because
throw
they
the
just
ball to
won.
win games. Yeah. It's ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. But yeah, I love the fact that he this is really not a personal attack against you, JJ, if you ever hear this,
No,
but
we just
I
love being right.
love being right.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. Exactly. And this is definitely in the we were right column. But let's keep it moving here. We had the Raiders taking on the Chargers, and to nobody's surprise, the Raiders just continue to struggle and suck, and really any other adjective you can think of that means bad. That's the Raiders. But Chargers, started turning out wins again, so that's good for them. They should be getting Amari and Hampton back soon. That's going to be a big plus.
Yeah. Yeah, Hampton's going to help a lot. They need to get healthy. Like this team is not what they are. I mean, we saw it earlier this year how good this team can be, and they've just been really banged up, and they just haven't had the depth to make up for it. They didn't make the moves before the deadline they needed to rebound and fuel this run for the postseason. And yeah, I mean, odds are they're going to get in, but I don't know that they're going to do anything unless this team gets healthy overnight, which as we know, usually as the season goes on, teams aren't getting more healthy. It's usually just getting worse. Um but yeah, it's still no sweat to take care of the Raiders.
It's true. It's good. We'll talk about it later, but they got a pretty nice matchup coming up this week. Should be able to notch another one in the W column. Sorry, I was gone for so long. I just really had to get all of this energy out in this first episode back.
For the
That's all I'm
audio
saying.
listeners, who do they play, AJ?
Uh, that team from Philadelphia.
Oh, the Eagles.
Yeah, those suckers.
Dick.
Yeah. But anyways, let's move on. We got 3 games left to recap here. We had the Bills taking on the Steelers here, winning 26-7, and the Steelers just offered really no resistance here. I don't know what to think of this Steelers team. I really don't. Other than the only thing that I know is that they're going to win 3 of their last 5 games. I don't
Yeah.
know which ones, but they're going to win 3 of them. That's what I can tell you. They're gonna finish 9-8. Seriously, it's so predictable.
Yeah, I mean they just find a way to do that. But going into this game, this was a tough pick for me. Like I ended up going with the Bills, but this was tough. The Bills have been another contender like team that have just been really weird. Josh Allen has been up and down, very inconsistent, and the defense hasn't been the Bills defense we've been accustomed to over the years. And yeah, the Steelers, we know they're going to get to that 9. I thought maybe they'd have a shot here, and yeah, I mean they just rolled over, and it wasn't even close.
I'll be honest. I actually just took a peek at the remaining games. They've got a tough uphill battle to win those three.
Yeah,
They've
well,
got Ravens,
yeah, it's been
Dolphins,
great.
Lions, Browns, Ravens. So I mean, they should beat the Dolphins and they should beat the Browns.
And the Lions, there
But
you go.
yeah,
No,
definitely.
we know they're going
Eh,
to take one from the Ravens. Like both of us probably
probably.
won't predict it, but it will happen. We
Yeah,
just the only
that's
reason we're
very
not
fair.
predicting it is we don't know which one.
Yeah, that's a fair point. Yeah, we'll see. But they do like to blow a game that they should win every once in a while. So there is that aspect. But we'll see. We'll see. But yeah, I agree with everything you said there. This honestly was kind of tough because Josh Allen's just been really inconsistent. The defense hasn't
Yeah,
been super, super reliable. They've taken a big step back from where they started at the beginning of the year. But that is like so many other teams across the
it
NFL. I
is.
mean,
We
did
know
they
nothing.
change the football
Just
halfway through the year? Seriously,
right? Seriously, that's a good point. Maybe something like that's going on.
yeah, it's
I don't know.
like
It's
baseball
up
where
is
they're always
down,
talking
man.
about what's the ball for the year because it's different every year. Maybe something similar here. Who knows? Um, But yes, we got two games left here. Let's move to the Broncos taking on the Commanders in DC. This had an exciting finish here. Commanders, credit to them, they made this a lot closer than I thought it was going to be. I didn't expect this to go to overtime. And then once it got to overtime and the Broncos scored, I didn't expect them to drive the ball all the way down the field and go and score. Unfortunately for them, they do lose, trying to go for two,
Yep.
which honestly, in their position, I
Appreciate the
respect.
balls. Yeah.
Yeah. I think that's a situation where I don't have a problem with the team going for
No,
two
not at
here.
all. Not at
But
all.
Broncos pull another one out, which is ridiculous that they're currently sitting at freaking 11-2, I think, maybe. Yeah, 10-2, excuse me, ten
It,
and 2. For a team I do
yeah, and they've
not think is a 10-2 team. I'm just going to throw that out there, especially
no.
with their
You're
defense has
right.
been really good some games, but it's been really not good other games. I think this Broncos team, they're looking pretty likely to win the AFC West at this point. Um, I think they're going to flame out pretty quickly come playoffs with what I've seen.
Well, they're not going to be able to pull off the wins that they've been this year. You know who they remind me of? They remind me of last year's Vikings. Like how many one possession just weird shit needed to go down in the fourth and the Vikings were just winning week after week after week. They actually did it the year before last year too. Some weird Viking shit going on. But yeah, the Broncos are doing that this year. They are playing with their food. They have barely scraped by numerous teams that they should just smoke, and this being one of them. This Commanders team is done, man. They're done. And to your point, that's why you go for two there. I like that as well. But yeah, they had no right being in this game. And screw you, Broncos, because you cost me clinching fantasy playoffs. And why?
That's awesome. That's awesome.
No,
But
it's
yeah, we'll
not.
see. We'll see.
That's exactly not awesome.
Hey, you got another week to do it. So
I
there's
do,
that.
but why the hell do I have to sweat it now?
Eh, it's just the way the world works, my friend. But yeah, Broncos, like I said, kind of a similar. I've had a lot of similar takes on college here, but Broncos a team I would consider great record, but second rate and gonna get washed once playoffs comes around. Certainly not a team I'm considering a Super Bowl contender at this point.
No, yeah. And
And
given their record, you'd think we would, but yeah, you're absolutely right. They are faking it.
yes, and then we get to the Monday night game, the last game of the week. We had the Giants taking on the Patriots here. Patriots winning this one 33-15. This is the game I was mentioning when I brought up the whole quarterback situation because Jackson Dart got absolutely wiped on the sideline in this game when he had every opportunity to get out of bounds, and he totally should have. He was like haggling for like 2 more yards, seeing the defender coming at a perfect angle to fuck him up and just takes the big hit. And like, dude, I don't love that the Giants in this situation. I don't love that it caused a scuffle because it's like, dude, that is all on Dart, man. Like he took that hit and stayed in bounds and made that choice. And interestingly enough, and this is why I don't love Dart long term, his press conference after the game, all he had to say about it was, "This is football. I'm gonna get hit." Dude,
Yeah,
yes,
but
you are.
you can use a
But those are the
brain.
unnecessary ones. Those are the
Yeah.
unnecessary ones. Like, yeah, you're going to get sacked, thrown to the ground, and your head's going to clank against the ground 100 times throughout your career, if not more, especially playing for the Giants. But, like, you got to be smart and limit the hits when it makes sense to. And that is just
Yeah.
opportunities where it made sense. Patriots continue to roll, but honestly, in my opinion, a very similar story to the Broncos. If you take a look at, uh, like, I think it's either 7 or 8, I can't remember off the top of my head, but 7 or 8 of their 11 wins came against teams in the bottom 10 of the draft order.
Yeah.
Seriously.
I
They
believe
have
it.
beaten like hardly anybody that's actually good for real. And don't get me wrong, I'm not taking away from how Drake May's been playing because he has been really excellent, but also not great competition. Um, so we'll see how they do come playoffs too, because right now they're the one seed, looking like they're in current position to get the bye.
Yeah.
You throw this young ass team into a divisional round?
Yeah.
No
It's not gonna be
thanks.
good. Yeah, I think you're totally right. It's another team I'd consider faking it. But yeah, they're just nothing against them. Like you said, they're just taking advantage of the weak opponents they have. And yeah, May has looked really good, but we know how rookie quarterbacks, especially ones that make playoffs, do overall. I mean, we were spoiled by Daniels last year making it to the Eastern Conference final, but it's not going to be that way for May, and I can literally see it. You just painted it out perfectly. They get the one seed, they have the bye, and they're feeling all good, and they're just going to get completely wiped in their first game.
Yeah. I mean, we shall see. I just don't think this is the year to fear the Pats, but next year I will be scared. I will say that. Especially with
Yeah,
another year of Vrabel. Vrabel's a little more involved again in the
exactly.
team, right? Like, oof, not ideal for the NFL universe. But that wraps up our recap from week 13. Can you tell that we were missing this an hour 15 just on the recap
Yes.
alone
Sorry,
here?
people.
Yeah, so let's get right into our game picks here. Quick explanation. Chris and I did continue to make our picks each week while I was in Japan just to make sure we could keep that going. That mattered to us. Chris's lead is now 12. He's looking like he's in really good position coming down this home stretch of the year here, up 12 with only 5 weeks to go. I'd have to go on quite a legendary run to close that gap, I would say. Um, we'll talk about NFL experts. Chris is 11-0 against them right now. Myself 2-9, so hovering around the same spot that I have been for the past couple weeks. I'm still have every opportunity to jump quite a few of them, but we'll see if I can actually do so or not. But percentages, not bad either. Chris 68%, myself 62%. So both still hitting above a 60% clip there overall, which is not too shabby. But let's get right into it with our Week 14 picks here. The last week of buys, we will have all 32 NFL teams playing for the rest of the year after this weekend. But let's start with the Thursday night game. We've got the Cowboys taking on my Lions. And honestly, this was a tough pick, but the Lions should win this game. And I just had to pick them for that reason. Like they should, they totally could lose this. Don't get me wrong. Based on form, the Cowboys might be the smarter pick, but I'm going Lions.
Yeah, I went Lions too. As much as the Lions have been struggling, they are a team that have shown they can bounce back. We talked about it in the recap how they didn't bounce back after losing to the Eagles. Um, but I think they do here. I think they know now, as you said too, they're outside of the playoffs. Like it's freaking go time. And I think Campbell's gonna get these guys fired up and ready to go. Dallas has a target on their back at this point. You beat Eagles and Chiefs back to back. I mean, teams are going to take notice to that. Lions at home. I'm a fan of that as well. Shout out the NFL for the way they did the scheduling here. I love this. You get the two Thanksgiving teams, they play on a Thursday. You just make them play a Thursday again. No teams getting the mini bye on each other or anything like that. I thought that was really smart. And then, quick side note, they did it again with the Packers and Bears. Bears played the Black Friday game, Packers played Thursday. I thought it was just really well done because we've seen it. There's been terrible scheduling errors. The NFL's known for this. And on that note, the Eagles do not have back to back home games at all this year, which is BS. But let's move on.
All right, so we both got the Lions there. Up next on the docket, we got the Dolphins taking on the Jets. This was an interesting one for me. Two shitters. I ended up going Jets here to win 2 games in a row.
That is what stopped me from doing it. I was like, I think the Jets are better right now. Like they're gonna win this game, and I think the Dolphins already got them. Like it just made sense. But then I thought about it, and I was like, that would be a 2-game winning streak for the Jets. Can't happen. So then I went Dolphins.
Good, good. I need differences on the docket, so I love
Yeah, we
that.
this is true.
Steelers then taking on the Ravens based on our discussion 10 minutes ago. I think I know which way we're both going to go here. I've got the
Yeah.
Ravens.
Yeah, I did, but I truly believe what I said earlier. The Steelers are going to win one of these games. If the Ravens win this one, I'm probably picking the Steelers in the next one, or the next Ravens matchup anyway. But yeah, I
That's
went
totally
Ravens in
fair.
this one. This is the Ravens' home one. Ravens need a bounce back. I mean, Steelers do too. This could be a fun, classic AFC North 13-10 game or some shit. I don't know. Could be fun. I
True.
hope there's snow. It would fit.
It would fit. I love snow games too. In
They
the
are
NFL.
just,
Oh,
yeah.
they're awesome. They're
Just don't snow
fantastic.
wherever I'm watching TV.
Also, sorry for all the yawning. I'm still readjusting
Yeah,
to American
yeah,
time here. I'm working on it. We're getting there. Um, but yeah, so then up next we got the Saints taking on the Bucks here. Pretty easy pick for me. I went Buccaneers.
yeah. I did as well. I mean, they kind of need a bounce back, even with their win against the Cardinals. It was just not them. So I think they try and look or try and get back in the true form here.
Yep. Then the Colts taking on the Jaguars here. And going along with what I said earlier, I've got the Jaguars in this game.
Yeah, I picked the Jags too, and it's kind of like what I was saying earlier. I think the Colts are trending down right now, and like we both agreed, Jags are consistent. So I'm going Jags.
And the home team, as you like to point out.
I was gonna leave that
Um,
out this time, but you
don't
know I
worry,
was thinking it,
I won't let
people.
it slide. Yeah, I won't let it slide. Then we got this is another interesting one. The Titans traveling to Cleveland to take on the Browns. And I hate that I did this because Shadur will probably ask for $100 million contract if this happens, but I've got the Browns winning this one at home. His two wins will
Yeah,
be against the two worst teams in the freaking NFL. And the only
yeah,
reason I went this way had nothing to do with Shadur. It's the
yeah.
fact
It's a
that Cam
defense.
Ward has been so awful. And like I said earlier, I think this Cleveland Browns defense is one of the best in the NFL.
Yep.
And I don't think
Yeah,
Cam Ward can do enough to beat that.
yeah. At first, I was a little stumped on this one because of just what the hell is this quarterback matchup? But then, yeah, I like you thought about the defenses here, and I mean that's night and day. This Browns squad is solid, and we've seen Cam Ward do nothing against bad defenses. So, yeah, give me the Browns.
You know, the only thing I can see it now. Can see it now. Shadur beats Cam Ward in this game. Shadur doesn't really have much to do about it. It's really about the defense dominated Cam Ward, and he makes some comment either in the post game or shortly after. It's like, should have taken me with the 101.
Oh my
I can
gosh.
I can I can see it. And that's the sad part. I believe truly that is something that might come out of his mouth.
Yeah, which is crazy because it's so disrespectful to your current team, and it's just so unprofessional. But yeah, I mean, that's kind of his mantra.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. But all right, moving on here, we've got the Commanders taking on the Vikings. And I went Commanders here. They've been playing some tough football lately. I don't think that they're great, but they've been playing some tough football. And JJ McCarthy is likely to be back at quarterback for the
Yeah.
Vikings. So they're going to
Yep.
lose.
Yep. Yeah, I went Commanders for the same reason, but this is another one that had me stumped for a minute. And I was just thinking about how good the Vikings defense has been in some of these games and thought, hey, this is a winnable one. But then I just thought about the quarterback play the last few weeks. Like it's been that abysmal that I mean, you're just not going to win a football game with the way these guys have been playing, whether it be McCarthy or Mr. Sixth Round, whatever the hell his name is. But
I think
yeah,
Max Brosmer, I
yeah,
believe.
Brosmer, more like Bunsmer. He sucks. Uh, it's not enough. Give me the Commanders. Mariota will do enough to get it done. But yeah, a game I'm certainly not going to look at unless Red Zone makes me.
Red zone will make us hopefully there's a touchdown scored in this game at
Yeah,
some
right.
point.
Maybe not.
Uh,
Yeah.
yeah.
0-0 tie.
Oh, that would be horrendous. Um, I wonder if that's actually ever happened. 0-0 time. I'm kind of
Yeah, I was just
curious. Might
thinking
have to
that
look
too.
that up. But all right. But I'll look it up when you're saying your pick this for this next one here. But then we have the Seahawks traveling to Atlanta to take on the Falcons, and I got the Seahawks in this one. This is a pretty easy pick for me.
Yeah, it was an easy pick. The Seahawks have looked so impressive. You were all over them to start the year. I was not. I knew the defense was solid, but they're even better than I thought. JSN, another guy I knew was going to take a step forward and be good. He's looked even better than I thought, and Darnold's looked really well too. I was worried he exposed himself a little too much with the collapse late last year, but he's had a phenomenal season. And yeah, the Seahawks are no joke.
Yeah, no, they're pretty fantastic. To answer our question, I cannot believe this number. 73 0-0 games in NFL history. 73.
That is
It hasn't
unbelievable.
happened since 1943,
Oh, okay.
but in the early days of the NFL,
Was gonna
clearly
say
quite
was
common. Yeah,
that was the first like 30 games of NFL football was just that,
yeah,
and then they finally figured it out.
yeah. So that's interesting. But let's get back to the picks here. We got the Bengals taking on the Bills up next, and I found this one quite difficult, especially with
Yeah,
Joe Burrow being back now.
it's
I went
tempting to
back and
sip.
forth quite a few times. I also thought about taking a sip, but I ended up deciding to stay clean, avoid the addiction, and I went Bills here.
Yeah, I went Bills as well. But yeah, it certainly was tempting to sip. I just and I've said it kind of all year with this Bills team, even with their ups and downs, they're just a better team when they're at home. They really are. And I think we're getting the make or break time. So like I think a lot of me is going to end up leaning on these teams that are struggling that should have been contenders. And my picks support that. I mean, I already went Lions, going Bills here. We'll see what I do with the Chiefs and Eagles coming up. But yeah, it's these teams need to get it going. So I just have a little bit of faith left in them to do so. But yeah, I mean, certainly could go the other way. Joe has this defense playing better too. I mean, he just inspires the whole freaking team. It's crazy. They looked so
I'd
much
agree
better, did they
with
not?
they they did, but also we saw what they did for him last year.
Yeah,
So
we did. We did. But 5 turnover game, that's pretty crazy.
it's impressive. It was
Yeah.
impressive, yes. But yeah, all right, we got five left here. Broncos Raiders up next. This was a set it and forget it kind of game.
Yeah.
Broncos all the way.
Yeah, let's ride. Yeah, I went Broncos, but my gosh, I could see them playing with their food again. Like, I don't think
Yeah,
it's going to be
that's
a
true.
blowout, but I do think they'll
Divisional
win.
game, you never know.
Yeah. Yep.
Well, I certainly am not picking it. Um,
Right.
Then we've got Bears traveling to Lambeau to take on the Packers here. And I went Packers here. I know that the Bears are really hot, but Lambeau is a
Right?
tough place to play
Yeah.
away, man.
Yeah.
It really is.
It is, dude. And the Bears are just cursed when it comes to the Packers. I went Packers too. Until they can actually beat this freaking team, like I'm not gonna pick the Bears. There's just like a long rooted curse here going on. But and I think they did actually get the Packers last year. They did. But yeah, regardless, it's not a normalized thing. And if you just look at the last like 20 games, it's stupid. It's like 18-2 or some shit. But yeah,
Yeah, it's
and the
really
Packers
bad.
Packers look good, so do the Bears. It's really a toss up, but yeah, went with the home team, shocker.
Yeah. Then we got the Rams taking on the Cardinals, and I got Rams all day here. Bounce back game for them after a disappointing loss to the Panthers. I think Matty puts up like 325 and three touchdowns.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. I don't give a shit about it being interdivision here. I think the Cardinals are about to get dusted.
Yeah. Then on Sunday night, we've got the Texans traveling to Kansas City to take on the Chiefs. And this was a really tough one for me. If the Chiefs are in a more comfortable position with the way that the Texans have been playing as of late, I think I might go Texans here, but the Chiefs are officially playing for their life. Um, and I had to go with them here. I got the Chiefs.
Yeah. Yeah, I did too. I mean, as I said, I'm banking on these teams that should be the top dogs to right the ship here at the end. But you said it perfectly. If the Chiefs were sitting pretty, I mean, this Texans team is finally starting to click and fire, and I would have went for this upset there too. But yeah, the Chiefs desperately need this win, so I'm going with them.
Yeah. Then finally, our Monday night game. I think I alluded a little bit to my pick earlier. The Eagles taking on the Chargers. And honestly, with half decent teams right now, with the way the Eagles are playing, I have a problem picking the Eagles just with how terrible their offense has been. So
Completely fair.
I'm going Chargers here because I was also looking. It looks like Hampton's going to come back this week.
Yeah.
So based on what Swifty and Manungai were able to
Yeah.
do last week, that's Chargers at home. I got Chargers here.
Yeah, totally fair. You're not going to catch anything from me you going against birds with the way we're playing right now. But it's just like I just said, I'm rolling with these top dogs to right the ship. Got to include my birds there. And as I mentioned earlier too, just Chargers injuries are just relentless. I mean, the O-line is hammered down, real thin, not good. We know how Herbert does when he's constantly under pressure, but you bring up a good point with Hampton. Eagles' run defense was certainly vulnerable last week, so I'm sure the Chargers will look to attack that. And if they have Hampton, that could be make a big difference in this game. But I gotta believe the Birds are gonna right this ship. I mean, I'm trying not to get too reactive with the current situation. We're 8-4. Like it's okay. We're winning 2 games for every one we lose. Like don't panic. And I just hope the team is kind of keeping that same vibe because it's so easy to be reactive and explode. We've looked like dog shit the last few weeks, so I get it, but there's time and we did so well early on that we can right this ship, but yeah. I got to see it to believe it though.
That's fair. That's very fair. So only two differences this week. I definitely need to sweep, I think, to give myself a chance going forward. It still wouldn't be a great one. It would take a 12 over 5 to 10 over 4.
Yeah.
But
I could certainly see a
I
sweep.
yeah, it's not out of the question
Yeah.
here. I was kind of hoping we'd have a few more. I thought maybe you would sip that juice and I'd have Bills, you'd have Bengals. I thought maybe we'd have Colts, Jags different, maybe Chiefs, Texans, but nope.
Yeah,
We
I
all
thought
settled on the same there.
I thought you were gonna have Colts until we talked about the recap, because then I knew you were gonna go Jags, and I'm like, damn it. Because I mean, even with my lead, I want differences. It makes it more fun for me watching. And then I also thought you were gonna go Texans just because of how good they've been, but we had of the same mind, to no surprise.
Yeah,
I don't know how we have
I
any
know.
differences, honestly.
Great minds think alike. What can we
Yeah,
say? But
amen.
with that, this wraps up our return episode of Palm
Woohoo!
City Chucks NFL. It has been an absolute thrill being back. Thank you to everybody who does tune in. As always, please let us know what you think. Like, subscribe. Excuse you, bless you,
Excuse me.
all of the above. Um, and we'll be back with you next week, everybody.
Later, PCC.